Okay, so in this video, I'm going to tell you how I tried every single strategy to get contractors more leads and more booked estimates. And there was only one that actually worked, right? I tried every single strategy and one is the only one that worked. In this video, I'll show you the real way to get at minimum 15 to 30 estimates every single month and around 30K a month in new deals. So pay close attention. This is going to be not a very long video because I know you're busy. So I'll make sure it's very, very brief and very, very impactful. So let's first talk about what doesn't work anymore. Right, so this is what contractors are using all the time and why it doesn't work. So first of all is why not referrals, right? So why can't we use referrals? Well, you're actually just waiting for someone to talk about you, right? So that is way too inconsistent. You have no control over the growth and it's not scalable. Like you can't scale to $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 million every single year with constant referrals only. Sure, referrals help, but they definitely aren't the way to scaling, right? So referrals is out of the picture. We can't do referrals, right? So why not? And like lead sites, like Angie's Leads. Well, first of all, you're paying to get leads that you have to fight for. So you're paying to get a lead that isn't ready to buy from you, but is just looking and browsing. You're getting constantly lowballed by the smaller companies or even maybe bigger companies that are charging more than less than you, that don't have as good as work as you, but you're getting lowballed because they are cheaper, right? And a lot of consumers don't understand the quality of work, right? They look for the cheapest option, but when you own that authority and you own the industry and you own your city, they don't really look anywhere else, right? You don't own your audience. So what does that mean? It means that you don't own the people that are looking at your business, right? So when you have people coming in from Angie's Lead, you're sending them, you're phoning them, and you're not owning them. Like they're just waiting for people to come to them to see what you're looking for. You need them to come to you. That's how this works. And again, it's not scalable. You're not going to scale to 8, 9, 10 million a year, or even more. I mean, if you're at 2 million, even if you're at 500, you're not going to scale past it with using Angie's Leads, right? So why not Facebook ads and Google ads? Like why doesn't Facebook ads and Google ads work? Well, I'll be completely honest with you, right? So people just don't know who you are then. They just know the link that you're providing, right? So if you have a Facebook ad, right, you have a little Facebook ad and then you have a little link right over here, people are just clicking that link. They don't know you, right? They haven't seen all the other work that you've done. They've only just seen this one short little video or short static of work that you've kind of done, right? You need people to actually see a bunch of your work, and then that way they'll be like, okay, I can see they know what they're doing. I trust these people. I like them, and I actually want them to come and do my house. Remember, what you're offering is not a cheap service, right? I mean, if you're doing epoxy flooring for like 6K, I mean, that's not cheap. People need to see that you know what you're doing. You have lots and lots of ghosting. Right, you get people, you get leads in, you phone them or you email them or however you're doing it, and they just constantly are ghosting you. They don't really care, and the reason why is because again you're not owning your market. You're just constantly trying to get new leads in and seeing who wants to buy from you. Right, that's why this doesn't work. Okay, you're collecting a lot of people that aren't qualified, as we like to call it, right? And leads haven't even seen your work, but you want them to buy. You want someone to go from an ad, right, to an estimate, right? Without anything in between, without any content in between. Do you really think they're going to care what your estimate is when they actually haven't seen more of you? No, we're in a world where people need to trust people more, right? There's a lot of scammers, there's a lot of bad people doing bad work out there, and you're probably doing such good work, but nobody knows about you, right? Nobody knows about the work that you're offering because you're not putting yourself online, right? And I'm not talking about going viral. I'm not talking about constantly posting random TikTok dance trends at your work sites. I'm talking about real content, okay? And it's not scalable. Like you're not going to scale to 3, 4 million a year doing Facebook and Google ads. It just doesn't happen. So why has Instagram never worked for you? Okay, well, first of all, you're probably like everyone else and you're chasing views, not people, right? You're supposed to be chasing the person that you actually want to bring into your accounts. And when I mean chasing, I don't mean physically going out and finding them. I mean directly targeting them and bringing them to you. What you're doing is just targeting vanity, which is not what you want. Vanity is just essentially you constantly wanting high views because it boosts your ego, right? And then posting randomly and inconsistently. There's a big thing, and I don't blame you for this. You're an owner of a construction or a local service business. business, you're putting in the work. Unlike the people who work online, you're putting in the work. You're actually busy. And I understand that. I don't know why this is hard to be consistent, but it's what's killing your business, right? You need to be consistent and you need to be posting all the time, every single day, or at least 3 times a week, right? And then thinking if you post some random before and after shots, people will randomly come to you. If you're posting these before and after shots where the top is before and the bottom is after, this is old news. This doesn't work anymore. Sure, you should be posting before and after shots, but not like this, because this looks ugly. Like, this doesn't really show much, right? So what I'm saying is that what is people are still doing is very old and tacky, and it doesn't work anymore. And again, doing all this stuff is just not scalable, okay? You're not going to scale with Instagram if you're doing all this stuff. Now, why not do it all by myself? Well, first of all, you're going to get burned out, okay? You're an owner of a local service business, and it is very difficult to try and do all these things at once, as well as trying to go to job sites, or if you're just going to job sites and constantly trying to do stuff in marketing. It just doesn't work, right? It's hard even for me to talk about it, because I understand how hard you guys work and how hard it is to constantly do this, right? You actually lack the knowledge on how to leverage Instagram, right? And it's not your fault, because you're so used to the 2019 way of using Angie's leads and Facebook ads, right? This just doesn't work anymore. The way to actually get it to work is simply using a nice little software called Instagram. Nice little platform, called Instagram. And I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. Show you exactly how to do it, exactly how we do it. And there's no time to grow your business between your jobs and your family, and I completely get that. You're a family person and you're working a lot, and you honestly just don't have time to focus on this stuff, because you want to spend time with things that are important, which is your family and making sure that you deliver good ass service. And again, all of this just makes it not scalable for your business, right? So what I'm just trying to say is that everything that you use to get where you are now is not what's going to help you get to the next level of your business. Right. So if you've already done stuff like, Facebook ads, if you're doing like referrals only, if you're doing Angie's leads, like, sure, that might have gotten you places. That might have gotten to where you are now, but that's not going to get you. So this is where you are now. That's not going to get you to the next level, right? To this next level where you're making an additional 1.2 million a year. Whatever the increase you want it to be, maybe an extra 30%, right? You're not going to be able to get to this if you're still using the only thing that you use to get to where you are now. Okay, business doesn't work that way. So I guess, what do we need to do in order to actually create a business and an Instagram brand so that we are the authority in our city? We actually have a brand that people can see and go look at. People trust us. People come to us. What do we have to do? Well, it's super, super simple. We just implement it. I like to call it the Instagram funnel, because it's basically just using Instagram to bring in more leads. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that now. So now I'll show you a step-by-step on how to use the IG funnel to bring in, at minimum, 15 to 30 estimates every month, and around $30,000 in new jobs. And I mean this in additional to what you have going on now, right? Not just that. Now listen, before we get into it, if you're a garage contractor or any contractor at that, and you want not only to bring in more leads without chasing them from Angie's leads, getting lowballed, but you also want to become the number one guy in your city and bringing 15 to 30 estimates a month and around $30,000 in new jobs, then book a call below and we can build up a strategy on how this can work for you directly. Okay, I would highly suggest this, because I know how busy you guys are, but let me kind of break it down how it works, right? So there's basically just 3 steps, right? There's literally just 3 steps. I'm going to show you exactly how it works. Step 1 is clean up your Instagram. So this is an example of a pretty bad Instagram that isn't very good, right? So the first thing I didn't even write down is the username, or just the name, right? I mean the username, sorry. So this is just a little bit weird for me, like epoxyflooring.llc. Like, you don't need to have that. I would just have your business name. That is literally all it is. Maybe this is their business name, but you would only need to add like LLC and all that crap. Like, it just doesn't work. And also on top of that, I didn't see this logo is very blurry. Okay, it's very blurry. You want to make sure that your logo isn't blurry. You want to make sure it's a high quality logo. Remember, people coming to look at your brand. Your brand needs to speak about your performance. And if you have these little things high quality, it's going to intrinsically put that into people's brains that they are high quality work that you deliver, right? So now the next thing is like their bio, right? And also another thing I didn't touch on is like this little name here. This either needs to be your name. It needs to either be your business name, your name, or the name of or like a slogan, right? Something like that. So now the next thing is the bios, right? This is not bad. It's just like a little generic, and they aren't specific with their location, their number, their free estimates, and they don't really tell anything, right? And they put all this random stuff in, like certified installer, specialized, whatever. Like, this isn't necessary. No one really cares. Okay, this is all random stuff. It doesn't need to be in here. I'm happy that they did put their phone number here, but they didn't really do anything else to this. Like, it doesn't add any more value, right? It really isn't necessary because they actually should have like a landing page here. They don't. So if you don't have a landing page, get to it really quickly. But they don't have a landing page. If all of this stuff could be in the landing page, it's just taking up a lot of valuable real estate here. That is just kind of killing it. And then the next thing is these little highlight boxes here. These do nothing, right? Highlights and then countertops, like, these bring no value to people who land on the page. You kind of want to have like two highlights, one that say client reviews and one that say transformations or like work that we've done, kind of stuff like that, because that's what people care about, right? The next thing is that they have their prices on their account. You never want to have your prices on your account. If you have that, go take it down right now. And the rest of the content is just before and after content that isn't very good. Like, it's very bland, it's very boring, and they aren't running any local ads, so they're just trying to run this on vanity metrics. And it seems like, I might be wrong, but it seems like they've used these three here. I think that these are the exact same house. I might be wrong, but yeah, you can just see if you're running your account like this, I would change it very soon. The rest of the content is before and after. There's no owner, no people, and nothing behind it. If there's no face behind it, people aren't going to care, right? You need to put your face behind it. As an owner, it's your job, your duty to put your face behind your business, and this is where you put it. And they're chasing engagement, not real people. Okay, so that's what a bad Instagram looks like, right? So you need to clean it up. So how do you do this? Well, first you want to make sure you have a clean logo, very clean logo. You want to have a very nice, no underscore, no dot at that actually is just about your company name. You want your name, your like the name of the that goes over here to either be the name of the owner, the name of the business, a slogan, or a phrase like, we are the number one X in X, right? Stuff like that. Very simple. And then you in your bio you want to use like this three step line framework, which is what we do, social proof, CTA. Okay. And then from there, you want to do like these highlights here, where you simply would just put like highlight 1 would be client testimonials, and then highlight 2 would be client results or results, something like that, right? And then in the content side of things, you want to be posting tips and tricks. You want to be posting before and after images, high quality before and after images, please. You want to be posting little offers. If you do giveaways, or you post giveaways like $500 off credit your next epoxy flooring, stuff like that, right? It's very simple on how to make a good Instagram account. And then step 2 is set up the Instagram profile funnel. This is where it gets a little bit complex, but I've tried to make it really simple to understand, right? So the first thing you want to do is setting up your local Instagram ads, right? So how do you do this? Well, you would go onto Instagram, click on Boost Post on your computer, and then go ahead and run those local ads. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it, but that's kind of how you do it. So what happens? How does this work, right? So essentially, the local ad is an eyeball, right? So this is just bringing more eyeballs into the various content schemes that you have within your account. So you got your reels, you've got your posts. So these are your before and after posts, and then you have your story highlights, which I spoke about over there. So this brings more eyeballs into these things. So the more eyeballs we get, the more likely someone is able to come in and pull us into. So the difference between using Instagram profile visit ads and just using, organic viral stuff is because the viral stuff doesn't target the exact person you're looking for, or even the person in your location, right? So the local profile Instagram ads is that we're only talking to people in your location that act, or in your jurisdiction where you do your work, that actually want your services, right? So the people, what they're interested in, people, what the local business is looking for, a certain age range, kind of stuff like that, right? So this is why it's so important to run this, because with normal organic content, you can't do this. So as I was saying, these local ads are literally just eyeballs, and those are just bringing in more eyeballs onto your stuff so that people can get nurtured. So what that basically means is that the more someone sees of you, the more likely they are to trust you, and the more likely are they like, okay, you know what, I'm looking at my garage, or I'm looking at my garden, or I'm looking at my car, and I'm thinking I need a detailer, a landscaper, or a contractor to come in and fix this up for me. Oh, I've been following this guy and they're in my location. I should just use them. Let me call them for a free estimate. That's how this works, because now you're top of mind all the time. That's how that works. So people see your work and they click the link in your bio and book a free estimate, right? Or they call you and and book a link and book a free estimate, right? Or they land on your account, get pushed to a website, and then get warmed over content by time, and then actually find your website website again and then book an estimate. So that's just how this works. You're literally going eyeballs to nurture content to, I want to say cash, right? That's literally how it works, right? And yeah, that is how important this structure is. You need to make sure this is in place because you need to bring people, actual people in your location to you, not just in the whole of the US or in the whole of Illinois or in the whole of or in the whole of Texas. You want to be specific. So if you're in the Fox Valley area, you do it in the Fox Valley area, right? If you're in Glenview, you want to do it in Glenview. Like that's how it works, okay? Hope that makes sense. And then step 3 is implementing a content engine. So this is again just warming people up, helping them see what you're offering. So you want to post before and after images and videos. You want to post tips and tricks. So how to clean up your driveway, how to make sure your car stays clean after detailing, how to make sure that your tires don't ruin the epoxy floor, because I've heard that does happen quite often. Like these things are very, very important. Then you can answer question and answers, right? And you don't even have to get these from people. You can think, okay, what do people ask me all the time when I'm on the job site that I can answer on the internet, right? Team videos of people moving stuff around or people working, right? And work site videos, right? So so this is where people are working and doing stuff. Team videos is like videos of your team. There's like some funny trends going around now. There's no reason not to try them. Like there's one like, oh, we're doing epoxy flooring. How long do you think it's going to take? And then there's the 4 people that aren't actually doing the epoxy flooring saying it's going to take the day. And then the actual floorer is like, everyone shut up. It's really funny, and they actually do really well. So that's something just to add a little bit more pizzazz to your brand. It shows that you're real humans. It shows that you have real humor. It's very, very important. And then it lets people see your work. It keeps you top of mind, lets them see that you're a real person. This is very important, right? And it shows that your team is working. It shows that you know what you're doing. It shows the proof in the content. It shows the social proof. It shows everything to these people. Now, here's a quick little overview. Again, this video wasn't very long. So what you need to do is you need to clean up your Instagram profile. You need to run local ads. You either need to run it to a profile or then website, or to profile, then they decide to DM you, or you DM them, or a website. You can then post content that shows off your work and warms up people that followed you. And then it's a game of repeat, repeat, and repeat. So what is the result of this system, right? So you easily generate more leads without chasing them and getting lowballed. You're the number one guy in your city. You own the audience. You show off your work and get the best clients that don't want discounts. You focus on what you're good at, not marketing, because we know you're not good at marketing, and just providing a good ass service. And you bring in 15 to 30 estimates per month and around $30,000 a month in new additional deals. So on top of that, right? So if this sounds like something that you want, and you want to get to the next level of your contracting business, you want to move away from what got you here now, that you can get to the next level, then I would suggest booking a call below and getting a team of experts that actually help you grow your contracting business in 2025. Because if you aren't doing these things, your business will be left in the dust. So again, if you want direct help on implementing this stuff, book a call below and we can have a quick strategy session on how we can build this out for you. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for checking this out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.